Hi guys, welcome to another video. Today we're going to be going to a restaurant that we've never been to before because we're doing a challenge where one of us has to pick a dish for each other to order. We're going to recreate that dish. Do we have to recreate the whole presentation of it as well?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
See how we go.
Alright, let's see how we go. So we arrived at the restaurant, which was not bad looking, but we were actually the first ones there. And we took a seat and looked at the menu. I decided to order using the fish of the day, which looked quite interesting.
The dish came, it was served in this cast iron pan. It had some nice variety of seafood with some capers, tomatoes, some garlic, and a flavorful broth at the bottom, which I actually quite enjoyed. It was delicious. Then it was my turn to order some dessert, and I decided to go with the mighty apple crumble.
The dessert on the menu had an anglaise sauce with alcohol in it, so we actually had to substitute for the chantilly cream. I find that the ratio from ice cream to dessert was a little bit too much, and also the apples didn't have much flavour. But after that, we were ready to start cooking.
Alright, we're back here at home and we're about to remake those dishes we had at the restaurant. So here I am, I did my shopping, I've got a little bit of seafood here. The main thing I wanted to recreate is that sauce at the bottom, which was, I think, the main component which brought everything together. So that's what I'm gonna start with. To start this broth and the sauce at the middle, I'm gonna start with basic mussel broth, which will just require some onions, a little bit of garlic, and a carrot. In the pot it goes. Meanwhile, I'm gonna start preparing my seafood. I want all my seafood to be quite uniform size so they cook evenly. So I'm gonna do little dice. Octopus, I'm also gonna cut maybe in half. Squids, I might just cut in half. And the king prawn, I think they had it at the top. Cut it halfways. So now that my base is cooked, I'm gonna add my mussels. I'm gonna add a bit of wine, and we're gonna shut it and let it steam for a few minutes. Mussels in. And that's done. So after a few minutes, you can see the mussels opened up a bit. That means they're ready. So I'm just gonna remove them and I'm gonna continue cooking the sauce separately. Now I'm straining the broth, and this here will be the base of my sauce. All right, so at the restaurant, they served the dish in a pan. It was a cast iron pan, a smaller one, but this is all I have. I'm gonna serve it in here. I'm gonna start the base here with a little bit of olive oil, some garlic onto the stove. Got some cherry tomatoes here. Garlics are halfway there. I'm gonna add my cherry tomatoes, and then I will add my capers, a little bit of chili, and then I'll just deglaze that with my broth. Here we have the base for the sauce, which we're gonna build the dish on top of it. We'll cover it and put it in the oven. All right, pan. We're gonna start laying our seafood. I'm gonna remove the mussels from the shells. I'm gonna leave the shells in here so I can build the dish on top of the shells. I'm gonna start laying my dish on top of it. Sprinkle a bit of salt on top of this. You cover this with foil. And in the oven it goes. Okay. Fish is out of the oven. All right. Okay, just needs a bit of fixing to the presentation. We'll throw our mussels back in. Make sure they stay in the nice hot liquid, and we'll just sprinkle our olives around as well. Once all that is done, we'll start garnishing. just like at the restaurant. Here it is. That is my recreation of the seafood dish from the restaurant. All right.
Let's try.
Yeah, go ahead.
There's a lot more flavour
Better, huh?
than in the rest.
Yeah, good.
Really good.
Not bad.
Alright guys, now I'm here in the kitchen and I'm going to be recreating the dessert from the restaurant. The flavours weren't very complex or anything. I've got just a little ramekin here that I'm going to be using, and I've got some little ring cutters here that I will maybe cut it out once I pop this out of the ramekin or not. So yeah, let's get started. I'm just going to use this mandolin to get some thin slices from my apple. I'm going to add some lime juice. And this is just some cinnamon sugar. Now I've got my apple mix ready and it's just gonna sit for a bit while I make the crumble. 25 grams of flour, 25 grams of brown sugar, 18 grams of butter, and just 2 grams of cinnamon. Also gonna add some nutmeg for some extra flavor. Rub it all together with my fingers until it creates a nice crumble. Okay, now that all the components are pretty much ready to go, I'm going to start layering into my ramekin. First I'm going to put some crumble at the bottom and then start layering all the apple slices. Pour over a little bit of the juices and then finish it off with some more crumble. Now that that's all done, I'm going to pop it into the oven for 20 minutes. I've also made these dehydrated apple slices. They're going to be nice for the garnish. So now I'm going to make an anglaise sauce for around the apple crumble, and I'm also going to be adding some 0 alcohol white wine since we don't drink, just for some extra flavor. 250 ml of milk, about a teaspoon of vanilla. And then I'm going to heat that up until it's almost boiling. In a separate bowl, I'm going to separate 3 eggs so that I can just use the yolks. 50 grams of sugar, a 1/4 cup of white wine. I'm going to whisk that up. Now that the milk is almost boiling, I'm going to slowly pour it into the egg yolks while whisking. Pour it back into the pot and keep whisking until it thickens. Once it coats the back of the spoon nicely with a line that doesn't move, that means it's all thickened up nicely and it's done. Put that into the sink with ice water just so that I can cool it down and it stops the cooking process. So I've decided not to cut it with the ring cutters. I think that the size is pretty good and the layering is there. So I'm going to put it straight onto the plate. I'm going to drizzle around the apple crumble with the warm anglaise sauce. And I've also got some ice cream here that I've made and I'm going to scoop it right on top. And garnish with a little flour and apple. And that is my recreation of the dish.
At this point, the ice cream had melted, so it didn't look the same, but the flavour was definitely still there.
Alright, this is your dish here. Let's have a little taste to show you. Okay, nice layers. Interesting. It's pretty good. You got the nice layers, you got the flavor, you got the garnish and the ice cream. Pretty good. Good job, chef.
Thank you.
So that was it, guys.
Hope you enjoyed.
Let us know what you want to see next time. We've got a lot more coming, so stay tuned.
Bye.